My name is Conan, and today we're going to be talking about the difference between fit people, so those who are in shape, versus fat people, those who are out of shape. And I feel really confident talking about this topic because not only have I both been a fat, chubby kid growing up in the Netherlands, I've always been a very fit person, like I am right now. Just finished my workout, feel absolutely amazing right now. So I thought, why not touch on this topic? Not only have I gone through my own transformation of going from fat to fit, I've also helped hundreds of people by now go through the exact same transformation. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions a lot of people have is that people in shape have something that I myself lack, right? Either it's they have more discipline that I don't have, or they have more willpower that I don't have, or they have more grits or more motivation or just like more oomph to like actually chase after their goals. But that could not be further from the truth. Now, yes, of course, there are some differences, but the differences aren't something that anyone can't achieve. Having gone through it myself, I thought as a chubby kid that I was just always going to be fat. That's just who I am. Those are my genetics, and those are just the cards that I've been dealt. But after going through my own transformation and then also applying the principles that I've used through my own transformation and applying that to other people as well, I've noticed that anyone can really get in shape. And I think that's such a cool, freeing thing to know. Just know that if you're watching this right now and you feel like you're stuck in a situation, you feel hopeless, just know that there's actually a way out of it. And I'm going to explain to you exactly how to overcome that. I think a lot of people that are out of shape think that in order to get in shape, I need more discipline. But discipline and willpower, they are finite resources, meaning that there's only so much discipline you have, there's only so much willpower you have until it essentially runs out. Same thing with motivation. You may feel motivated for a couple seconds, couple minutes, couple hours, couple days maybe, after maybe watching a YouTube video, watching something very inspirational, something really motivational that like really gets you going. And I think using motivation to at the very least start doing something, whether it's starting a new project, starting to exercise a bit more, starting to eat a bit healthier, is definitely a great underrated way to actually at least get your foot in the door, get started. And I think that's also where a lot of people start. They see something cool, they get motivated, and they start. But then the issue is, going back to it being a finite resource, people stop once the motivation dies down. It's really important to not rely on motivation, knowing that we're going to run out of it eventually, whether it's after a couple hours, couple days, couple weeks. Some people could be motivated for a couple months, but just knowing that you will eventually run out of that motivation is really important to know, because it's really important to not rely on something that you know will no longer be there to serve you in the future. So we're going to have to find a different alternative to that. Maybe if you're feeling motivated after watching this live stream, you're like, you know what, Conan really had me up to start walking a bit more, eat a healthy meal, do some push-ups, whatever it may be. Like, use that to your advantage. Like, use that to at the very least build some momentum for yourself, because momentum is a huge thing, not just in fitness, but in life in general. Whenever I get off a sales call and I sign a new client, I'm like, yes, this is great. Signed up a new client. And then on my next sales call, I got some momentum behind me. I got my swagger. I got my confidence. I'm like, yes, let's sign this new client, right? Same thing with starting your day bright and early with a healthy meal, or with a tough workout, or with a run, or whatever it may be, something to like really hype yourself up and make yourself proud. It's like, boom, we created some amazing momentum to start the day. And with that momentum, you're just going to want to just keep on going. After eating one healthy meal, you're likely gonna want to eat another healthy meal. After crushing a workout, it's not like, oh, let me eat a junk food meal after my workout. Like, no, of course not. You want to build on that momentum. And it's like, okay, just crushed the workout, did an early morning workout, I feel good. Now let me carry on with this momentum by eating a healthy meal. It's like, okay, boom, we knocked out two amazing things. Now I actually feel pretty high in energy. Let me work on this project that I've been doing. And we got some more momentum behind us. And before you know it, you're just absolutely crushing your goals. You're attacking it. You're just feeling like an absolute beast. And it's like, oh, like, let's freaking go. The momentum is a really powerful thing if it goes for you, but it can also be a really detrimental thing if it goes against you. I'm sure you guys have probably experienced this as well, something called the rut, where maybe you have one cheat meal, maybe you miss a workout, maybe you sleep in, maybe you just had a bad day at work, and you kind of like let that one small little instance turn into another cheat meal, another bad day at work, another missed workout. And then before you know it, you've kind of spiraled your way down this kind of hole where it becomes increasingly more difficult to get yourself out of. So just like how momentum can kind of carry you through the right way, the positive way, it can also kind of set you back a lot as well. So definitely use motivation and momentum to your advantage if you can. I'm not saying saying to never use it. Like if you feel motivated right now, like don't just sit there and do nothing, like do something with that. If you feel energized, take advantage of it, because knowing that we're not always going to feel motivated, we're not always going to feel energized, we might as well use that scarce resource, knowing that it's going to be a finite thing. We might as well use that to our advantage while we have it in that instance. Even the most disciplined people run out of it. Even myself, you probably see me on social media, posting the content, posting the videos, editing the videos, on top of that having to help my clients too, but I'm not always going to be motivated to do that. Do not rely on willpower. Do not. Design your environment so that the healthy choice, or whatever choice you want to make, becomes the easy choice. I say this to my clients literally every single day, every single week during their check-in. You don't need more willpower. You don't need more discipline. You just need to prime your environment to make the healthy choice the easy choice. What I mean by that is I'm actually going to show you 3 live examples of what I do for myself to just make it as easy as possible, as frictionless for me to make the healthy choice the easy choice. And I believe if you are a follower of mine, you've probably heard me say this numerous times before, but I definitely think that most people need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. I think a lot of you guys know that in order to lose fat, build muscle, you should exercise, you should eat healthy, eat less, move more, essentially, right? In order to lose body fat. But a lot of people tend to either forget or tend to just need to be reminded of that, as opposed to being taught that, right? Like most of it, what it comes down to is just simply doing the thing as opposed to learning more about the thing. You cannot beat biology. You can only make biology work for you. If you keep junk food in your house, guess what you're going to be craving more of? Or guess what you're going to be more prone to eating? Junk food, obviously, right? Because it's inside, it's in minds, it's really convenient to just grab it and go. Whereas if you remove the junk food and replace that junk food with healthy food and you're hungry, guess what you're going to gravitate more towards? The healthy food, because it's inside, it's in minds, and it's really convenient. That is how we can kind of like prime our environments to make the healthy choice the easy choice. So 3 real life examples, starting with number 1, my kitchen setup. If you were to go into my kitchen right now, I invite you over. It's like, hey, let's hang out, let's whatever. Let's say you go into my house, you go into my kitchen, and you are hungry, you are starving, and you go into my kitchen and you open up my fridge, you open up my pantry, and you are just bombarded by healthy foods, meal prepped meals, fruits, veggies, lean sources of protein, healthy fats, some carbs, all these other things. Guess what you're gonna be eating? Naturally speaking, you're probably gonna eat healthy food. You're probably going to have my meal prep because it's easy, boom in your face. All you got to do is just microwave it. You're probably going to have a piece of fruit as well because it's just there, convenience. Boom, there you go. You're super hungry. You open up the fridge, you see healthy food, you eat it. Whereas if I were to go into your house, let's say you're super friendly and you invite me over to your house. How nice of you. And I am super hungry. And I open up your fridge, I open up your freezer, I open up your pantry, and I am just bombarded by junk food, donuts, frozen pizzas, burgers, frozen fries, Pop-Tarts, sugary cereals, and I'm really hungry and I'm only surrounded by those types of foods. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to eat whatever is in front of me because it's convenient, it's boom, it's there in my face. I probably wouldn't. I'd rather just not eat than eat, but let's say we're just using this as an example. I'm bombarded by junk food and I'm really hungry. It's like, okay, well, it is likely for me to eat the processed foods because it's within my environment, it's within reach, it's convenient, and it's boom there in my face. So just by simply optimizing your living situation, specifically your kitchen, could make a huge difference. That's just a prime example of not having to use any willpower or any discipline, and you just living your life and just eating whatever is inside. The biggest hack that I could give you right now is if you live on your own, you should not be having junk food in your house. Like, I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm not gonna be like, oh, everything in moderation. Like, no. If you live on your own, there is absolutely no excuses. You should not have Oreos in your pantry. You should not have ice cream in your freezer. You should not have frozen pizzas. You should not have sushi. You should not have any of this crap in your house. Like, it just makes zero sense to me. Get rid of it altogether, especially if you're out of shape and you're fat right now. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Optimize your environment. Literally, like, if you can, and I think I did this a couple times a couple years ago, but I was living with a couple roommates, so I couldn't really do this. But when they all kind of moved out and I was kind of living on my own, I got rid of all the food. I just completely just got rid of everything. Like, just the kitchen was empty, and I replaced the empty kitchen with only foods that I knew would help me reach my goals. So no trigger foods, no junk foods. Like, you're not a 14-year-old kid. You don't need to tempt yourself. You don't need moderation. Like, you just need to eat like a real human being. So general rule of thumb, single ingredient foods. Think of foods that only have one ingredient. Like, I'm sure you guys watching this are smart enough to know whether or not something has one ingredient or multiple ingredients. How many ingredients does an apple have? A chicken breast, a piece of fruit, a vegetable, one ingredient. Whereas how many ingredients are inside of a Pop-Tart, inside of a sugary bowl of cereal, inside of a cookie, inside of chips? Multiple ingredients. It doesn't take a scientist to figure that out. Get rid of all the food in your house if you're living on your own and replace all the junk food with only healthy food. So think of your fruits, your veggies, if you want whole grains, healthy fats, and your proteins. So a couple things that I could list off right now when it comes to your proteins: chicken breast, lean ground beef, fish, cod, tilapia, those are great. Shrimp is also great. Fattier fish like salmon could also do. Any red meat as well is fine. Pork chops, tuna, low-fat Greek yogurt, if you can tolerate it, low-fat milk. Those are a couple just off the top of my head, right? Any type of fruits, any type of vegetable. I did a video yesterday where I showcased literally what I eat, but I tend to go for frozen vegetables because they last a lot longer. They don't go in or out of season. I don't have to worry about like washing them or like keeping them fresh. Like I just chuck them in the freezer, and they're actually picked at peak ripeness, so they last a lot longer, and they're actually the most freshest and also the most tastiest in my opinion. They also tend to be a bit cheaper as well. So I get frozen berries, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and I get like some other things like frozen peaches, literally any type of frozen fruit really. I do the same thing with my vegetables, like frozen broccoli, frozen stir fry mixes, frozen snap peas. So I get a variety of fruits and veggies within my diet, and I get most of it frozen. It tends to be a bit cheaper. It lasts forever, or not forever, but at least for a couple of weeks to months, and it's just so much easier. So any type of fruit, any type of vegetable. We talked about the proteins. That should be like the majority of your diet. And then if you want to add some whole grains, sure, you can maybe add some oats, some rice, potatoes, totally fine. Add some healthy fats, avocados, nuts, seeds, oils, specifically olive oil. Those are all great sources of healthy fats that you can sprinkle into your meals to keep your hormones nice and healthy, your testosterone levels. Your diet should 80% of the time consist of those types of foods. Single ingredients, unprocessed whole foods. Not only will you feel a lot better, your energy levels will be a lot more consistent, your digestion, you'll just feel amazing. And you'll have a much easier time, especially if you're trying to lose body fat, to stay within your calorie deficit, because all these whole foods tend to be like just a lot more filling, a lot more in fiber, have more water content, and they just tend to fill you up a lot more, as opposed to primarily eating junk food, which don't fill you up, make you want to eat even more, and just kind of keep you addicted and hooked to wanting to eat even more of it. You got to keep in mind that most of these food companies have very, very, very smart food scientists who work behind them, and they are quite literally engineering their foods to be as tasty, as addictive, as hyper palatable as possible to make you want to come back even more for it. That is why the sugary cereals, the cookies, the chips, the fries, all these things, people keep buying them because they're so tasty, and it triggers a dopamine response in their body to make them want to keep eating more. And guess what? That is why they're fat. Whereas I have not met a single person who got fat from only eating whole natural single ingredient foods. Like, it is very difficult. If you only ate whole natural single ingredient foods and I were to challenge you to try to get obese, try to get fat, like, you'd have a really difficult time. You'd be eating 2 chicken breasts and you'd be like, oh my goodness, I am so stuffed. Meanwhile, you've just hit 60 grams of protein, low fat, low carb, and you're literally going to be burning fat while literally being stuffed. That is the power of whole foods. You'll feel better, you'll lose fat, you'll build muscle, you'll just be unstoppable. Like, this isn't rocket science. This is literally common sense. Yes, people lack common sense for whatever reason, especially when it comes to the foods they put into their mouth. That is a prime example of how I use zero discipline when it comes to, at the very least, my eating habits. I wake up every single morning, I work out, I do my thing, and whenever I come back home from the gym, come back home from work, come back home from wherever I go, and I'm hungry, I eat 3 meals a day. I don't have to think twice about what I'm going to be putting into my body, because I know that whenever I come home, I have either my meal prep meal, and I just can brainlessly put it into either the microwave, heat it up really quick and eat it, or I can just pick up a piece of fruits. I am not bombarded or surrounded by junk food. I am not tempted by junk food. I am not triggered by junk food because it's not in my environment. Now, if you are living with other people, whether it's roommates, siblings, parents, kids, you name it, you could do one of two things. Number one, lock up the junk food. So have like a specific pantry or a specific box where they put all their junk food in, and then everywhere else, it's just like normal, hopefully healthy food. Because at least that way it's like physically locked up, so you have zero access to it. So that's the first thing, lock it up. Or secondly, hide it. Like, if you tell them like, hey, can you at the very least like hide it either in your room, just somewhere where it's like out of sight, out of mind. Because as soon as we open up the fridge and we see something that's really tasty and tempting, it can just be tempting to at the very least give it thought of eating it, and that can lead to you actually wanting to eat it. So either lock it up or hide it. Those are the two things that you could do if you live with other people who insist on still eating processed junk food. So that is what I like to do personally when it comes to optimizing my environments to eat as healthy as possible. I'm not using discipline. I'm not using willpower. I've just primed my environments to make the healthy choice the very easy and obvious choice. It's obvious for me to eat healthy. Number 2 is the gym. So I have a membership at a gym that is a 30-minute commute, and I don't always feel like driving 30 minutes there and back just to work out. So let's say I do a 90-minute workout. I'm literally spending a third of that driving and then another third of that driving back just to do a 90-minute workout. And it's like, well, is that worth it? Especially with everything else that I have to do with my other chores, my errands, my work, all these things. Usually, like most times, 8 times out of 10, it's not really worth it. And so I have found a gym that is as close as possible. So if you have a hard time getting into the gym, doing your workouts, this is really obvious, but do not get a gym membership that is a 30-minute drive there and back or an hour drive there and back. Just don't do that. Try to find a gym that is as close as possible. I know this sounds like common sense, but this is literally the easiest thing that anyone can do. Now, if you live in the country and you are like in the middle of nowhere, then you could probably do home workouts. But let's say you are living in like a regular place in like the city. What I do, I work out in my apartment gym. So instead of me driving 30 minutes to a gym there and back, which is like an hour out of my day taken away, all I do really is I take the elevator upstairs and I work out in my apartment gym. I'm fortunate enough to obviously have an apartment gym, and I know some people do not have access to that, which is totally fine. We actually have most of our successful clients start with just doing home workouts, and that is so just convenient because there's like zero excuses for you not to work out. It's like even if you live in the middle of nowhere and you're like an hour away from most things, you can start with just home workouts. Even during COVID, I got a home gym set up, just got a couple dumbbells, barbells, squat rack, and that was more than enough. Just sticking to the basic exercises. I even think if you're a beginner right now watching this, you don't even need a gym membership. I think a lot of people think that, oh, in order for me to get in shape, I need to get a gym membership, but that cannot be further from the truth. Most of our clients, we have them increase their daily step counts, so just be more physically active, which is actually my third point. And we have that combined with a healthy, nutritious diet to make them go into a calorie deficit. Those are the 2 biggest levers that you can pull in order to lose body fat and get yourself in a calorie deficit. Working out, a lot of people think that's resistance training, hypertrophy based training, so like muscle building workouts burn a ton of calories, but that could not be further from the truth. When you work out, you're not burning a ton of calories. You're really not. You burn most of your calories through your daily step counts and then also through something called NEAT, which stands for your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So that's essentially just anything you do throughout the day that isn't considered as actual exercise, but can actually add up to burning hundreds, sometimes even thousands of extra calories throughout the day. So by me obviously talking to you guys right now, by me moving my hands, by me fidgeting, by me walking around, by me cooking my meals, by me living life, breathing, I'm burning calories, but it's not like I am writing down. It's like, okay, I did 4 sets of hand movements during my talk. Like, I don't keep track of this. It's just me living my life, but I'm burning calories as we speak right now. So you burn most of your calories not actually through your actual workout. If you just have a high step count and if you fix your diet, those are the 2 biggest levers that you can pull when it comes to putting yourself in a calorie deficit for fat loss. And then really just view your workouts as a way to like really sculpt your body, build the muscle you're looking for. Because again, like you're not going to be burning as many calories as you may anticipate by doing like a resistance based workout. Now, if you're doing like a HIIT workout, like a cardiovascular based workout or like an actual run, then yes, like that's more of like a endurance based thing or like a calorie burning thing. But like actually working out is not a big thing. So going back to my second point, I have just made it as convenient as possible for myself to do my workouts. So instead of me driving 30 minutes there and back to the gym, I just work out most of the time in my apartment gym. I can just boom, go, literally take 2 seconds of the elevator and then boom, I'm in the gym and I can start working out. If you don't have an apartment gym, if you don't have gym that is close by to you, just do home workouts. You don't need to start even with weights. Just use your body weight first, master your body weight. I would actually recommend you to master your body weight first before you add resistance to that. Just thinking about it from a logical perspective, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for you to add resistance to any movement if you have not yet mastered the foundation of actually just using your own body weight to start. Master your own body weight first, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, supermans, all these things. Then once you feel good, you feel comfortable, your form and technique are on point, then you can add resistance to that, either in the form of like a barbell or a dumbbell, or if you have access to a gym, machines, cables, all these things. And then the last thing here as almost like a bonus thing is my active lifestyle design. I walk to most places. I have put myself in a position where most things are walking distance, which is quite nice, apart from my 30-minute gym, obviously, but whether it's my grocery shop, walking to the coffee store, errands, walking to the park, just anywhere I want to go, like I just try to like walk there as opposed to driving there. Typically in the US, that's very difficult unless you live like downtown, but I just made a conscious effort to just be as active as possible. I'll go on a morning walk, I'll go on an afternoon walk, I'll go on an evening walk. I just try to walk as often as I can everywhere I go. Getting on a phone call with someone, instead of me sitting down while talking to them, I walk around, I pace around. If I am sending out text messages, I don't do that while sitting down, I do that while walking around. So as you can tell, I have just kind of optimized my environments to make being in shape as as convenient and honestly as easy as possible. Like, it's actually, given what I've put myself in terms of the environment, like even if I tried to get fat, it'd be very difficult. Just trying to think about it right now. If I really wanted to get like obese, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight, I'd have a really difficult time doing that. And I'm not saying this as like a cocky, like arrogant way. I'm just saying this like with how my life is situated and my life is designed, I'd have to really try to eat a ton of chicken breast, a ton of broccoli, a ton of apples, which, I mean, I have tried that in the past before, where like I tried to like stuff myself with all these healthy foods. It's impossible. And even with like my daily habits of like walking a ton, I'd walk like 20,000 steps a day. I work out 6-7 days a week. I go on my runs. With all the habits that I've set in place, it is so difficult for me to get fat, get out of shape. And that is all because I have designed my environment to make this healthy lifestyle as easy to sustain as possible. Like, I don't have to think twice. I don't have to use any willpower, any discipline, any grit, any oomph, any just whatever to maintain six-pack abs year round. Just know that it is possible for you as well. And that's literally what we help our clients do as well. My clients, me, people in shape, they're not special. Like, we're all human beings at the end of the day, right? Like, we're all just like apes living on a circular bubble. There's nothing special or magical about us. The only difference that separates us, people that are in shape, versus you or people that are out of shape, simply comes down to priming our environments to make the healthy choice the easy choice. And once you've done that, at least for a couple of weeks, sometimes months, it'll just become a habit for you, and it'll just kind of be ingrained in your lifestyle, and it's like become part of your identity. It's like, yes, I am Cohnan. I am a weight loss coach. I am a healthy person. I am someone who walks. I am someone who eats healthy. I am someone who drinks my water. I am someone who takes my supplements. I am that type of person. It is part of my identity. And if you are looking to lose anywhere from 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 pounds of fat, all without sacrificing your favorite foods or spending hours in a gym or just sacrificing your life, what you can go ahead and do, schedule a free consultation call with me down below. We'll essentially go over your current goals, we'll go over your current struggles, and create a game plan together to help you absolutely crush them in the next couple of months. And I'll see you there. Peace.